Hi. Alt channel. I'm here. I thought I'd play some songs. I got bored. I thought I'd play some songs. Song. Hi. I don't really stream on the alt channel. I don't really do much. How are we all? Why? Dunno. Felt crazy. Thought I'd start an alt stream. Felt crazy. Good. Alright. That's kind of hype. I got so confused. How many people here, hear me out, how many people here right now never get notifications for the main channel but got a notification for here? Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. It's so scuffed, bro. It's so scuffed. It's so scuffed. Unbelievably scuffed. Bruh. Bruh. Fucked it up. There we go. Fucked it up again. Never Ending Story and Animal Crossing, they sound very similar. At like that one point where it's like, and then Never Ending Story. Like they kind of sound the same, you know. So what are you doing today? I don't know. We shop. Yeah, that's all I can remember of that one. That's all I can remember. Minecraft, I can't do any Minecraft songs, like, except for the... No! One of my piano keys just broke. No. Oh, and it's one I use all the time. This is so sad. This is so sad. Low A, come back. Octave 2A, come back. This is so sad. This is so sad, gang. Can you still do Falling Down? Yeah, probs. Exelude the Killers? I don't know if I remember that, man. This is the Office theme. Not anything like what you just asked. Yeah, I like the Office theme. The Owl House, oh god. That's one I know. I don't know many other songs. Life by the Sea, what like that? I can play that one. Nokia ringtone. I can do. I don't know. I can also do. Gravity Falls, I can do that. Goes like that. I thought TubboLIVE was dead. Yeah. Yeah. Megalovania. Ugh. Ugh. I don't know that many songs, lads. I'll be real, I don't know that many songs. Mans doesn't know that many songs. Learn a new one. Learn a new one. A whole new song. It's alright, you entertain us. Thank you, lad. Radioactive, yeah, I can do that one. I might not be able to, my key's dead. Oh, that's so upsetting, I'm gonna have to fix that. recovery. Nope, I fucked it up because I spoke. That was an attempt. Oh, dissatisfying. Missed the last note of the chord. Oh. 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 TubboLIVE. Alright. So that's going to be the stream for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm kidding. I'm still here. I don't know. What's the vibe today, boys? Because, like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it at the minute. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, not feeling streaming. I'm just, like, not feeling it in general. You know what I mean? Yes, just say it. You want to play City Skylines. So true. So true. So true. So. Oh my god, the note's broken. Oh, the key's broken. Oh, it sucks. It sucks. Rushy, I can't do that. Everyone asks that. But I just can't. Don't know what to tell you, lads. It's outside of my area. It's outside of my realm of knowledge. It's outside of my realm of knowledge. Look at DMs with Henny. Oh, it's a real stream. I gotta check DMs. Oh, it's because all the fucking mods aren't modded. Oh, that's how long it's been. Oh. Privileges have been granted. I grant privileges. I'm throwing. I'm throwing. I'm throwing. I'm actually throwing. I'm throwing. I'm throwing. Why am I throwing? I'm throwing. I'm actually throwing. 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 I threw. I threw. Too bright. It's too bright in here. It's too bright. It's too bright. Eyes hurt. Now for a chill song. Good song. Good song. Good song. Good freaking song. Very pretty. Very pretty. Tubby, you seem sad. I seem so sad. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. No, it's because it's 11 p.m., bro. It's 11 p.m. And streamer don't have coffee if streamer don't need to be live, bro. Guys, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. No. I'm not really. He's so sad now. No, I was just kind of thinking about stuff I want to make, you know? I was like, I've got so much stuff I want to make, and I feel like it never quite materializes how I want it to. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm like, nah. I was thinking about it. I was like, ah. Yeah. Jurassic Park theme. I don't know the Jurassic Park theme. We like three blind mice. Learn it then. I could. We shop. I did that one. The. All right. not. It should come out. What's this catching? There's nothing for this thing catching. What? 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 Why you not come off? What? What? Oh, that makes sense. It has latches. There we go. All right. Why this key stop work, eh? That's not being moved. What are you hitting? Why? 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 Why did you stop? You should be working fine. Is there something in there? Look, the key works. Oh no, it doesn't. Oh, something wrong with this bit. Hello. What happened? What happened? See, that catches something. This one doesn't catch anything. What happened, bro? Hair? I need more. I need to see more. Show me more piano. Why did you break? Why did this key break? I'm gonna lose my mind. Why did it break? Wait, what? No. What broke here? What are you? You're rubbing on something. Something's blocking you from going all the way up. What is? Oh, I see the issue. I see the issue. There's a bit of wood there that shouldn't be. Okay. Where's it meant to be? Okay, it's meant to be down. All right. Okay, I see the issue. Okay. I can fix this. Petition for everyone just to play the piano with it open like that so you can see all the stuff moving. Tell us it's not your string broken. Now the string's fine. Look, listen. It's just a little bit of wood here that has become unstuck and is now key 13. All right. I don't even know how to get to that, dude. I literally have zero clue how to get to that. Yeah, you're meant to be in that little trough there that you've sprung up for some reason. Why? How have you become unattached? How the piano should be able to take that much force. I didn't hit it too hard. Oh, it's really freaking loose. Oh no. Oh no. It's like really freaking loose. It's like crazy loose. This ain't good, lads. Please, just, yes, just like that, yes. Come on, man. It's not poggers. It's not poggers. Oh, no, that spring's come unattached. Oh, yeah, no, the entire spring on that little bit of the mechanism is broken. Like, that one's buckling fine. This one just isn't. Why? Well, that was an attempt to fix key. It's quite nice to see all the stuff moving. It's kind of nice to see all the bits moving inside the piano. Busted. Look at it. It just, look, see that bit that wiggles? That's meant to go like that. It's meant to go like that, but look, it goes that. That's so upsetting. There's actually a lever. There's a bit I can drop down like that and it locks into place. And it makes the piano sound really cool. So I can do like a, let me show you. So, this is the piano normally. And then with this lever in place, it goes. Cool, right? So it can be like a. Pretty cool, right? There's like a loose screw in my piano, I can hear it. What did you put on it? There is a little, it's called like a sound muffler, but it kind of just has a cool effect. So like normally it will sound like. And then when I put it on. Cool, right? Pretty cool. Something rattles when I play this note, and it's not province. That sounds so nice, like a. It sounds like electric piano. Listen to that. It sounds like an electric piano, but it's not. That's not quite low enough here. It's like a little bit off being low enough. I'm so upset about that key. I'm so upset about that key, bro. That key, if it worked, would be awesome. You should do Frozen. Poor little key. I'm so upset about it, man. So shit, dude. I don't know the rest. I was making it up after like the intro bit. I don't know it. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it. You can't tell, it's really pissing me off. It's really pissing me off. The rattle as well, listen to. I can actually put this bit down, can't I? Yeah. Oh, maybe I actually need something else, to be fair. This is just how I come up with melodies. I just kind of play random keys. Made that up. I like doing the little like I like all that. This is like an outro to a show, like The Office. Ain't this the Office theme? You're right. It is. You're making me fall half asleep. I'm sorry. I'll go if you want. I get it. Jeez. Jeez. Alright, I should put my piano back together. One sec. When I look at you, look at you. It's There you go. Come on. There you go. There we go. I broke it. I broke it. My bad. I broke it. I did in fact break it. Yeah, oops, I guess. Oops, I guess. What? Not the end of Slime Sickle.
When I was a kid, magnetic levitation trains, maglevs, were going to be the future. Television shows would film breathless reports on the latest trials in Germany or here in Japan, promising unbelievably fast and smooth travel between faraway cities. But decades later, the only actual high-speed maglev service in the world is in Shanghai, China, which is fast, but it's almost a gimmick. It only goes 30 kilometers, it loses enormous amounts of money every year, and not many people use it. I thought that maglev was one of those technologies like Concorde that we thought were the future until they weren't, and now there's just abandoned test tracks.
Maglev's cool.
Of the past. Which is why I was very surprised when my local producer here in Japan asked me if I wanted to take a ride on the new maglev. Because it turns out Japan has had a test track for years. It carries passengers because every so often they will open their tests to the public with a lottery for tickets. And this test track is already longer than the entire Shanghai maglev system. The plan is that it'll be part of a 285-kilometer route taking 30 minutes, which is less than half the time of even the bullet train, with a cruising speed just over 500 kilometers an hour. 90% of that track will be in tunnels, and that's under construction now. Forgive me for getting excited, but the future appears to be arriving, and I'm going to take a ride on it. But first, the team here said they'd let me stand by the track as the maglev goes past at speed.
この山梨では1997年から26年前からですね走行試験を行っております。現在までこの山梨で累積の走行距離が430万キロ、地球一周が約4万キロですから約107周分の走行試験を行ってまいりました。
And that's the maglev. Wow. So it's going to accelerate, and then they're going to bring it back at full speed into that tunnel, 500 kilometers an hour.
So it's floating, is it?
That accelerates so quickly. I don't know if that comes across on camera, but a normal train would have started so much slower than that. It's already doing, what, 30, 40k in a few seconds? That would have pushed you back in your seat. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Now we wait for it to come that way.
まず車両には超電導磁石という強力な磁石を搭載しております。一方、軌道側、走るガイドウェイと呼んでおりますが、こちらには、地上コイル、これは推進コイルと浮上コイルという2種類ございますが、この超電導磁石と、浮上コイル、推進コイルとの間の磁力の力で、非接触で走行するシステムです。
Won't lie, a little bit nervous. I know I'm safe, but there's a reason I'm not allowed behind this line. It's about maybe a kilometre to that tunnel mouth, maybe a little less. And the train's now coming towards us, 500 kilometres an hour, which means it's going about 1 kilometre every 8 seconds.
Wow.
It's nearly here, apparently. They've just told me it's nearly here and I can't hear a thing. Oh, I can see a light. I can see the train coming. I can see headlights. All right. How fast is 500 kilometres?
Whoa. Wow.
I hope that came across on camera, because you hear nothing and it looks so far away and it looks so unthreatening, and then it is there and this wall of sound hits you. That's incredible. I don't have words.
Whoa.
It's my job to have words for a moment like this, and I don't. All right, it's going to come to a stop. I'm going to get on it. We're going to ride at 500 kilometers an hour.
今までですね、様々な課題について、取り組んでまいりました。まず、
For that perspective, how fast do planes go? Yeah, dude. That is like only 240 kilometers slower than a plane. That means that, bro, that means on average, like, oh my God, that means that you could get, in 12 hours, you could get from London to New York by train in 12 hours. Because right now it's 8 hours. It's 8 hours to get from London to New York by plane. On a train going 500 kilometers an hour, that would only be 12 hours. Think about how much, like, think about also how much cheaper it would be. Maths, did I get that very wrong? Like, no jet fuel, only electricity. That's insane. That's insane. Wow.
では、車上の電源をどう確保するかという問題です。これは車両の中の例えばお客様の乗る空間の照明、それから空調装置、また超電導磁石を冷やす冷凍機となりますが、こちらの電源をどう確保するかということです。従来の鉄道はパンタグラフで電源を取るということをしますが、リニアの場合は非接触で高速でしかも走るということで、そういう方式が必要であるということで、誘導終電という方法を考えました。これは地上側にあるコイルから車両の中についているコイルに電磁誘導で電気を取るというシステム。
I've been on one, you can barely tell it's moving, no shot.
It smells new. There's sort of new plastics and fabrics in the air. Okay, here we go. The acceleration is noticeable. Like, I got pushed back in my seat there.
Not more than a car,
in a way that I think I've only felt on planes. It's not full plane takeoff, but it's still way stronger than anything that I felt in a train anywhere else.
Wow.
And we're already approaching 100 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
That is 100, and we're still accelerating. 130. So the wheels are going to come up soon. We're going to hit 150 kilometers an hour. The wheels are going to come up.
Dude.
And the noise goes away, and it's so much smoother.
Dude. It's not even
200
close.
kilometers an hour. And we're still accelerating.
It's not even close.
The only reference I've got now is the big screen. Which is just counting down how long until the end of the track. It's a little bit bouncy, but nothing you wouldn't expect on a regular train.
Dude.
Okay, 300 kilometers an hour. We're at kind of
That's insane.
continental Europe high-speed train now, and we're still accelerating. I'm still being pushed back in my seat. Not dramatically, but it's still noticeable. I've never experienced this much acceleration for this long, and we're still going.
実験性での最高速度は、2015年に有人での走行で出した603km。
600 kilometers per
これは
hour?
鉄道のですね、世界記録ということで、ギネスにも認定されています。
Oh my
通常の
god.
走行ですけれども、現在営業線は時速500キロでの走行を考えております。通常の鉄道車両というのは、レールと車輪の摩擦力で、
Wow.
駆動力を伝え、ブレーキ力を
It
伝
is
えます。
gunning it, dude.
これはですね、例えば雨が降ると摩擦力が低下するということから、この500キロというような高速
I
で
just
は
got here. What are we
安定して
watching?
走行がで
We're
きない。
watching about this high-speed train,
一
my
方、
man.
超電導リニアは、磁石の
Chai,
力
isn't that
で
just so
磁
fucking
力で
cool,
走行し
bro?
ますので、この、摩擦力に頼らない走行ということに
Isn't
な
that
りま
just
す。
so fucking
ですの
cool?
で、従来の鉄道に比べますと急な勾配に強い、また加減速度も高い。
480, 490, and we ease off the acceleration.
500.
That's 500 kilometers an hour. That's the
Jeez.
fastest I've ever traveled on land.
Do you reckon this train has like
And it
pitot
feels
tubes on it or something, bro?
Like a train. It is a little bit louder than you'd expect from a train, but it's way less than an aircraft. You can still have a conversation. There's a bit of noise in the background, but it's still doing okay. But there's nothing uncomfortable about this. I was worried that at this speed I was going to feel like I was being jolted about, but this feels like a train.
地震が起きた場合や停電が起きた場合も安
Tom Scott on a train. This feels like a train.
全に止まれるシステムとなっております。こちらをご覧になっていただきますと、この超電導リニアの車両はこの U 字型のガイドウェイと呼んでいる構造物の中を走っております。また磁石の力で、常にこの中央に、制御をすると。でまた、この超電導リニアの車両が浮上する仕組みとして外部から電源を供給する必要がありません。
He's not wrong.
速度が150キロ以上
He's
高
never
い
wrong.
速度であれば、浮上し続けることができます。で速度が落ちてきましたらタイヤを出して通常通り着地をすると。ですので地震が起きたら、早期に、列車を止めに行くというシステムを使っております。
So, will it work this time? Because there is a long history of breathless British people travelling to other countries, getting excited about maglevs, and telling the English-speaking world about a future that never comes. This feels like a video that the BBC could have filmed in the 70s or 80s.
That's fair
and
enough.
The original opening date of 2027 has already been pushed back. The new date is still uncertain. One local government keeps raising objections to the construction. The future is not here yet, and we're not going to be seeing one of these in Europe anytime soon. But the track is being built. The technology does work, and it looks like the economics are sound because there's clearly demand for travelling between two major cities. In a few years' time, we might finally get to ride the maglev that the world was promised all those years ago.
That's kind of high.
We are braking now, and it is still really strong. One last thing, they stopped the train in the middle of a curve. When I was coming through this at 500 kilometers an hour, it felt perfectly level to me. I felt nothing weird, but it turns out that actually the whole train is tilted 10 degrees. I'm having to brace myself
That's
to stop
awesome.
sliding down the carpet. Thank you very much to everyone from JR who's standing behind the camera there. This was a privilege. Thank you very, very much.
Cool. Cool. I liked it.
Every year, some countries move their clocks forward in the spring, only to move them back in the autumn. To the vast majority of the world who doesn't participate in this odd clock fiddling, it seems a baffling thing to do. So what's the reason behind it? The original idea, proposed by George Hudson, was to give people more sunlight in the summer. Of course, it's important to note that changing a clock doesn't actually make more sunlight. That's not how physics works. But by moving the clocks forward an hour, compared to all other human activity, the sun will seem to both rise and set later. The time when the clocks are moved forward is called daylight saving time, and the rest of the year is called standard time. This switch effectively gives people more time to enjoy the sunshine and nice summer weather after work. Hudson, in particular,
That's
wanted
fair
more
enough.
sunlight so he could spend more time adding to his insect collection. When winter is coming, the clocks move back, presumably because people don't want to go outside anymore. But winter doesn't have this effect on everyone. If you live in a tropical place like Hawaii, you really don't have to worry about seasons because they pretty much don't happen. Every day, all year, is sunny and beautiful, so Christmas is just as good of a day to hit the beach as any other. And so, Hawaii is one of 2 states in the Union that ignore daylight saving time. But the further you travel from
Fair
the
enough.
equator in either direction, the more the seasons assert themselves and you get colder and darker winters, making summertime much more valuable to the locals. So it's
I
no
quite
surprise
like-
that the further a country is
I quite like daylight saving because it gives me 2 excuses every year to fix my sleep schedule.
from the equator, the more likely it uses daylight saving time. Hudson proposed his idea in Wellington in 1895, but it wasn't well received, and it took until 1916 for
Sure,
Germany to
buddy.
be the
What
first
do you
country to put it
mean?
into practice. Though the
What do you
uber-industrious
mean?
Germans were less concerned with catching. When the president dies, who becomes the president? Well, the Constitution says what happens next is the vice president assumes the powers and duties of the office. Simple enough, but one backup president is none backup president. So what happens next? The Constitution left this question as homework for the new Congress. Important homework, yes. Due date, no. So Congress sort of worked on succession with inconsistent and conflicting drafts, but mostly procrastinated on properly finishing for 200 years, finally turning in the 25th Amendment. Better late than never, though in the meantime a president had
I thought America weren't allowed to make new amendments and change it. I thought that was like the argument for gun control in America, is that they're not allowed to change it. Am I just completely stupid at US politics?
died in office not once, not twice, not thrice, not quadrice, not quintice, not hexice, nor septice, but octagonalice. 4 natural causes, 4 assassinations. It was Garfield and McKinley. This survival record was only 80%.
It's always up to
and even
change.
counting to today, the president is technically the most deadly job in America. But the
What?
odds
That can't be right. That can't be right.
are, when you become president, you must roll the celestial 2d6, and if you roll a 7, you die in office. Oof,
What?
Don't spend a lot of time in Vegas with those odds. So the Veep
What?
becomes the Peep and picks a new Veep who must be confirmed by a majority vote of both houses of Congress. If this happens quickly, then hunky-dory. Everything is reset. But getting a VP nominee approved might take some time, during which the former VP, who is now the president, who is not immortal, must cast the dice and could roll a 7. The office
my
of the vice
God.
president has been vacant for more than a baker's dozen of times in United States history, which, given the historical state of Congress's homework at the time, put the peaceful transfer of power in a precarious position. For example, the first time a president died in office, the 9th by the way, didn't even make it to double digits, no one knew what should happen.
my God.
The then VP just grabbed a judge to administer the oath of the presidency to become number 10, and spent the rest of his term arguing with Congress and the nation about if he was really the president or the acting president, which seems a little who cares, what's the difference? But there is the
There must be a
office of the
difference.
president, and there are the powers and duties of the office.
Yeah, because I was going to say that has to be a different, right? Because it's like, I don't know. Like, there's a difference between someone that people voted for and then someone that just kind of stepped in, right? Surely.
Which are not quite the same thing. See, it's not just death that can remove a president. A president can resign, a president can be impeached, and a president can be
Has a president ever resigned? Ever? America is confusing, says an American. It is a bit, isn't it? But it's also quite fascinating to learn about.
able to discharge the powers and duties of the office. This
Yeah.
last
Richard Nixon.
enable is from the Constitution, which makes no attempt to define what enable means. A president can volunteer themselves to be enable, for example, during physical illness, upon which
Has
they
this
don't
ever
leave the
happened?
office, but the VP gets the powers and duties of the office and becomes acting president. This
What's this stream about? This is just hanging out, bro. We're watching a video about the most deadliest job in America, which apparently is the president. Don't know. I think CGP Grey makes good videos. Wait a minute. What does CGP stand for? Isn't it also like an AI? Chat CGP? Or have I got that very wrong? Oh, that's GPT? Oh, I don't know. All these damn letters sound the damn same, bro.
on a tiny scale has happened a few times when the president has undergone non-trivial surgery. A reason for this being to ensure nuclear weapons command and control is maintained at all times. So don't get any ideas, but also you don't get any ideas. I'm still the president. Power reverts as soon as this is over, and it will, assuming death doesn't make a bedside visit. Anyway, inability is a subjective sliding scale. A president could be perceived as mentally unable by some, or become so mentally unable as to be unable to declare themselves unable, or become physically unable yet simply refuse to declare it. Here, the 25th Amendment allows for the vice president to perform a kind of gentle coup.
Gentle coup. That's cool.
15 top-level advisors we will get to later. If the VP can get a majority of advisors to state in writing the president is unable, the VP gets the powers and duties
of... what's that called? What's that called? I've seen this before on a TV show. They did this. Where... What's the name of that group that he goes to? I've seen it before on a TV show. Is it called like the White House Council? Degradation of power? No. What's it called? I don't know a lot about US politics. The cabinet. Is it the cabinet? Did you see it on Designated Survivor? Probably.
Of the office. The president can challenge this, getting a moment to try and consolidate keys to power, but if the VP and advisors reaffirm the president is indeed unable, the VP is acting president and a 21-day countdown clock begins.
That sounds like something that would have happened before. Has that ever happened before in US history? US frogs in the chat. I don't know a lot about US politics either, and I'm an American. That's fair enough. No, yes, no. You could all just be gaslighting me. Probably, no. No.
What happens next is up to Congress. If they do nothing when the clock runs out, presidential power returns to the president. But if within the 21 days Congress votes with a 2/3 majority that the president is unable, then the vice president is permanently acting president. And the president is...
So wait, so if he's permanently acting president, now does that make him president, or is there still a distinguish between permanent acting president and president?
Still around? Awkward. Obviously, this would be a real delicate maneuver for any VP to pull off, particularly as the president can dismiss their advisors for any reason as long as the president holds the powers and duties of the office. So, getting advisors on board would be challenging. Case in point, in 1919, the president suffered a stroke and was mostly blinded and partly paralyzed. Don't worry, no big deal. The president just doesn't want to talk to the public or meet with his VP or consult with his advisors or leave the White House at all for a year and a half. And during this time, there was no move by the VP to declare the president unable. But there might be a way around the VP. The 25th has this line about Congress appointing like its own committee to determine the president.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the thing I saw in Designated Survivor, this committee thing.
Unable, but the way it's worded is a little unclear. Does it mean the VP and advisors or Congress committee determine inability, or does it mean the VP and advisors or Congress committee? If the latter interpretation, that means Congress alone has the power to appoint a committee with the power to remove the power of the president. That
doesn't seem right.
But as always with unclear interpretations, were they to happen for realsies, someone might want to weigh in on it. So those are the 4 or 5 ways a president can get removed from office. But one of them is clearly the most popular, so let's talk about what the finished congressional homework says about succession. First, the doubt that began with President 10 is dispelled by the 25th. When the president dies, the vice president becomes the president. Unable equals VP acting president. Dead equals VP president. But if both the president and the vice roll 7s, the order of succession is set. And first up is the speaker, who is the elected leader from within the House of Representatives. And next is the president pro tempore of the Senate, who is the longest serving senator. Not automatically, but elected by tradition. Gee, that's a funny thing to mention now. I'm sure it won't matter later. Senators tend to serve for a long time, so the president pro tempore is often in their 80s, with the record holder being 98. Just worth noting, it was up to Congress to set succession order, and Congress just so happened to pick the 2 most powerful members of Congress as next in line from the VP. After Congress, succession moves to the cabinet. These are the advisors mentioned before. Each here has the title of...
What happens if they, like, all die?
secretary and are
What then?
secretary of a same
They need to
department.
retire, I
Explaining
know,
each
man.
in detail would take too long because it would be to explain the entire structure of the executive branch, which is enormous. And some of their names give you the idea, but some of them don't. For example, number 4 in line, the Secretary of State, who runs the Department
That
of State, which
sounds-
has nothing to do with the states, but
What?
everything outside the states. The Secretary
Okay.
of State is first in the cabinet because managing the foreign relations of the federal government is a pretty big deal that requires you to be on at least decent
I am to be the Secretary of State. Great, and I'm already saying it approved.
speaking terms with other countries. A good thing should say you need their support during a sudden transition of power. The Secretary of State is first among the founding 4 appointed by the first president. The others, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of War, and Secretary of Justice.
Secretary of War? That's a thing? I thought it would be like Secretary of, like, Defense. But War? That, jeez.
Oh wait, Fancy Pants here wants to be called the Attorney General, but
Oh, I see.
just so happens to be in charge of the Department of Justice. So the oldest departments have their secretaries in 4, 5, 6, 7 order of succession. Now, from here, Congress decided the rest should continue on seniority, not for people, but departments, which has led to an interesting
What?
order. Secretary of the Interior is next up because in the 1800s, young America realized she had a lot of interior land to manage and created the Department of the Interior to manage the land and the Indians on the land. No, there's no time. And land needs to be farmed and managed, so the Department of Agriculture. And then in 1900s Part 1, America wanted to develop commerce and labor, and Part 2, health and human services, and
Jesus.
housing and urban development, and right transportation between those urban developments,
Jesus.
and energy for those developments, and overseeing nuclear weapons. There really isn't time.
Wait, what? The Department of Energy oversees nuclear weapons? Is that because, like, nuclear weapons need to be made using, like, spent reactor fuel? Or it's like... What? So you're telling me the guy, if I lived in America, the guy that raised my energy bill is the same guy that could end the world? That's insane, bro.
And education. Meanwhile, that Department of War, renamed Department of Defense, created
Oh, it was renamed. I thought it was called that.
veterans, and so also the Department of Veterans Affairs. All done until 2001, Department of Homeland Security. So the order is more
Oh.
historical happenstance order, not legislators sat down and thought it through order. Not to cast shade on the Secretary of Education, but if something has happened where the first 15 backups are out of order, that sounds a lot like a Homeland Security issue.
That
In
is
addition
fair.
to the debatable order, for everyone below VP, if their spot in succession comes up, they are required to resign their current position to become, wait for it, acting president, most likely serving the rest of the president's term. Why most likely? Well, one of Congress's homework attempts raises an issue called bumping with this paragraph, saying the acting president serves the rest of the term unless a prior entitled individual is able to. Oh, it's another interpretation problem. This
Is that-
does or doesn't mean new appointees take priority and bump those lower on the list out of the office instantly. Here's
This is insane.
the worst case interpretation
I'm so confused. Someone explain for my dumb brain. Yeah, me too.
and
I'm confused too.
scenario. Imagine while Congress is on recess, the President, VP, both leaders of Congress, and the Secretary of State all roll 7s. The Secretary of Treasury becomes acting president and appoints a new Secretary of State, who is higher on the list, bumping the acting Treasurer President off, who is now unemployed, at least until reconfirmed. And of course, a new Secretary of State is needed post-haste, confirmed. Back from recess, the Senate elects a new President pro tempore, who is higher on the list and then must resign to become acting president, bumping the current acting president, who was the Secretary of State but is now just unemployed. And then the House elects their new speaker, bump again. While there is debate about bumping constitutionality, the point is it's still President 10 all over again. Uncertainty is the whole problem. After a government decapitation, just the potential of rapid-fire changes in power is exactly what you don't want to be even debatable when nuclear command and control is on the table in what would obviously be trying times. So maybe a couple more revisions on that homework are due, but whatever. This is the current order, and since the 1950s, for no particular reason, it's been policy to never let all of these people in a room together at once.
Oh, designate
so when you're watching the next State
survivor!
of the Union address, if you want something to occupy your mind during all the clapping, you can play Guess Who's the Designated Survivor, knocking down successors
I watched
as
that
you spot
TV
them
show.
to figure out who isn't there, secreted away in a secure location to be the final backup.
That was epic. I want to watch more of these. These are good. These are good videos.
Do you want to rule? Do you see the problems in your country and know?
I don't want to watch this one. I want to watch another one, though. They're good videos. The difference between UK, Great Britain, and England explained. Well, Great Britain also includes, like, some islands, right? And the UK is the 4 countries, and England's a country in the UK, right? I don't know if that's right. That might be very wrong. The American Empire. I like learning stuff about, like, how America became to exist. I think that's cool. Bro, you're the one that lives there, Omegalo. Yeah. I'm trying. Hmm. I was watching this one, I think.
Connecticut. Fan of the grapes, huh?
I was watching that one the other day. I want to watch the latest videos. Wait, what are the latest ones? Coolest country flags you might not know. An experiment with the YouTube comments. I've seen that one. The interstate's forgotten code.
The
That
interstate
sounds hard.
highway shields hide within them long forgotten knowledge. As our great ancestors could navigate by the signs in the sky before the creation of the compass, so too before GPS could they navigate by these signs. Come with me and learn how to navigate the constellations created across a continent by the interstate highway system. First are the interstate majors, beginning with I-90 from Seattle to Boston, the longest and northernest of all the I's. Then the southernest, Jacksonville, Florida to Santa Monica, California, I-10.
Oh, that's rude.
Interstate
Yeah.
majors that
I know
run
that one.
east-west are
I was
double
at the end of that road. That road ends on Santa Monica Pier. We were there, chatters, in the subathon.
digits ending in 0, the bigger the northerner. So, filling in the rest, the next northernest is San Francisco, California to Teaneck, New Jersey, I-80, and the next southernest, Florence, South Carolina to Kent, Texas, I-20. Then Cove Fort, Utah to Baltimore, Maryland, I-70, and Little Rock, Arkansas to Fort Worth, Texas, I-30. Okay, so that one is the most minor of the majors, and it doesn't quite fit as well with the rest, with its diagonality. But
Yeah.
I'm confident it's the lone exception and not foreshadowing. Next, Barstow, California to Wilmington, North Carolina, I-40, then I-50 and I-60, which don't exist. See, there are older highways than the interstate system, slower other ways not built to the interstate's book of exalted construction codes. These are called U.S. highways or U.S. routes, the most famous of which is Route 66, and these use the United States numbered highway system, which put the old U.S. Route 50 and 60 right in the middle. The Department of Transportation knew that only the most devout roadway anoraks would be attuned to the difference between interstates and routes, and normals would simply look at the number. To simplify everyone's life, DOT skipped interstates 50 and 60 to avoid minds getting muddled in the middle of America. That's the east-west interstate majors covered. Now on to north-south, the longest of which is Maine to Miami, Florida, I-95, which, like all majors, no exception surely,
I've been
are
on that
double digits,
road.
but ending in 5 now to indicate
I've been on that
verticality.
road.
On the opposite coast, San Diego, California to Blaine, Washington is I-5. Okay, so already
been
that's
on
not
that
double
one as
digits, but maybe
well.
officially it has a leading 0, but
I've been
just
on these
not on the
roads.
sign, right, Department of Transportation? No? Okay, well, then I-5 has a leading 0 in our hearts. The rest of the north-south interstate majors are Petersburg, Virginia to Montgomery, Alabama, I-85, a bit
Not
of a
been on
sister
that
route to
one.
I-30, San Diego, California to Sweetgrass, Montana, I-15, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to Hialeah, Florida, I-75, Las Cruces,
Not
New
been on
Mexico
that
to
one.
Buffalo, Wyoming, I-25, then
Not been on that one.
I-45 from Houston, Texas to Dallas, Texas. Contrary to popular belief, interstates don't have to be interstate interstates. They can
Why?
be intrastate interstates. The obvious examples are Hawaii and Alaska, which have intrastate interstates, but also
What?
Puerto Rico, which has an extra-state, intrastate? I mean, I guess technically it's an extra unincorporated territory? Anyway,
What?
these 3 being physically disconnected from the rest of the network use a different numbering system with letters. But
Oh my
back
God.
on the continent, there are in fact way more intrastate interstates than interstate interstates. Most are the interstate minors we will get to, but I-45 is notable for being the only interstate major that's intrastate. Finishing up the
Totally
north-south
made
majors,
sense,
it's Texas again in Laredo to Duluth, Minnesota, I-35, then Chicago, Illinois to LaPlace, Louisiana, I-55, and finally hop over to Mobile, Alabama up to Gary, Indiana on I-65. Together, the interstate major constellation with its shining numbers lets you navigate the nation. The lower the
Cool.
numbers, the more south and west you are, the higher north and east. If it ends in 0, you're traveling horizontally, and if it ends in 5, vertically. Very satisfying. Now, there are scores of lesser connecting constellations as well. These are interstate minors and use 3 digits to communicate their navigational secrets. Interstate minors diverge from a major and have their last 2 digits match the major from whence they came. Then, if the first digit is even, it means the interstate minor will eventually connect back to its parent major. For
What?
example, as I-70 crosses the nation, I-670 diverts in Kansas City, Missouri, but eventually circles back to connect to I-70 in Kansas City, Kansas.
What?
Even-numbered minors are often called bypasses when they bypass something, or beltways when they encircle something. An interstate
What?
minor that starts with an odd number warns that it will not connect back to its parent. This is called a spur. Example, as I-90 goes past Buffalo, I-190 diverges, and the odd digit lets you know you won't be coming back, instead plunging one way into the wilds of Canada. Nice! Though sometimes a spur won't just go nowhere, it will instead connect back to another interstate major. In this case, which of the double digits are used as the base of the triple? And
Probably
the
an
answer
odd.
is there isn't a consistent answer. It's
Oh.
up to the states. So that's interstate majors and minors, but there's also interstate mediums, like I-64 from Wentzville, Missouri to Chesapeake, Virginia, and I-29 from Kansas City, Missouri to Pembina, North Dakota. The interstate mediums follow the same numbering pattern as the majors, all 2 digits, if we keep those leading zeros in our hearts, evens east-west, odds north-south. All in order too, except for I-99, which is so annoying. DOT, why did you do this? What? Congress specifically picked 99 out of order for this highway, so Congress is the only one who can fix it? Ugh. Well, let's just try to ignore that and move on. The interstate majors are all uniquely
This is
numbered,
insane.
but not so with the mediums. There's an I-76 from Big Springs, Nebraska to Denver, Colorado, and another I-76 from Belmar, New Jersey to Akron, Ohio.
Well, that seems
Sandwiched between
stupid.
the majors I-90 and I-80 are duplicate medium I-84s, I-86s, I-87s, and I-88s.
That sounds
The rule is
stupid.
that as long as the duplicates are far enough away to avoid muddling minds, it's fine. There are
Oh.
also loads of duplicate interstate minors, which there have to be if you think about it. Take I-95, which crosses 15 densely populated states. To only have 9 options for spurs and bypasses would be rather limiting. In fact, just Maryland alone has an I-195, 295, 395, 495, 595, 695, 795, 895, and really? Ugh, so close. DOT, you've got to build an I-995 in Maryland just to complete the set for me, please. So that's the system, but as we've already seen with interstate mediums, anything built over decades is going to acquire exceptions. And taking a little detour to my home interstate, I-495, aka the Long Island Expressway, aka the LIE, don't dare call it the lie or locals will laugh at you. This is the spinal spur of the Long Island fish, never connecting back to its parent I-95 because Long Island is an island.
Long
But as a
Island? Where is
one-way
Long
spur,
Island?
it should start with an odd digit, not an even, and it really should be a 2-digit interstate medium because it technically doesn't connect to I-95 at all, rather just dropping you off in Midtown Manhattan with an LOL buddy, good luck finding the Lincoln Tunnel. I guess the LIE is a lie after all. A worse exception on the other coast in San Francisco is Interstate 238, which the
Long
number
Island
tells
is
you
next
should
to
be
New
a
York.
bypass
Oh, wait,
off
yes,
of
I remember.
I-38,
You're right,
but
you're
no,
right.
I-38 doesn't exist. I-238 is a one-way spur connecting two other interstate minors, I-580 and I-880.
What?
So I don't even know what's going on here.
What?
There's also some weirdly one-off numbering, such as I-35, which splits into I-35 East and I-35 West to reach Fort Worth and Dallas before rejoining and pulls the same trick up north, dividing
That's
in
so
twain
weird.
east-west branches again to hit the Twin Cities.
That's
Why
so
wasn't
weird.
just one of the branches on each end picked to be the bypass so that the system could be consistent? Was it because the cities didn't want to be the one considered bypassed? That's totally the reason, isn't it? The weirdest one-off is the nice I-69, which splits itself into I-69 East, I-69 West, and I-69C. Okay, you
Central.
do you, I-69. At least you have a sign, unlike back in New York with America's smallest interstate, 878, at just under a mile, which apparently doesn't deserve a sign, so the interstate anoraks can never complete their selfie collection. Okay, that's enough exceptions. I could do this all day. I already cut so many from the script you wouldn't believe it. Back to the big, beautiful, constructed constellation and its lost wayfinding ways, now revealed so that as your ancestors before you navigated by the sky, you too can go on an American road trip navigating by the interstate numbers alone.
Cool. That was cool.
Well, after you memorize all the exceptions.
That was cool.
I mean, practically, you should still just use your GPS. It's very reliable, and it also lets you know the traffic.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Supreme Court shenanigans. Oh, we're
In
just
the
going through
United
all the
States,
US
Supreme
ones
Court
today.
is the highest court, given the final say on what
I think it's
laws
interesting.
really mean, and if they're cool with the Constitution. Well, this power was not given, but taken. Back in the day, the Supreme Court ruled it is the duty of the court to say what the law is, and everyone went with it. You might think the law would say what the law is, but even the best,
That makes
most
sense.
well-intentioned legislators cannot write a law that covers every possible edge case for the rest of time, nor be able to consider how this law will interact with every other law. So someone's got to make the final call on the law, and the Supreme Court is that someone. This makes the Supreme Court supremely important constitutionally and politically. While Congress gets to make the laws and the president gets to enforce the laws, it's the 9 court justices that both referee and adjust the laws. So if you're playing the game for pure maximum political advantage, you want to influence the refs. Now,
What
to be
about
above this
executive
influence,
orders?
each
Does that
justice
bypass
serves for
the
life. So
Supreme
appointing
Court
a
on
new
that?
one is an irreversible decision that will affect decades of law. Only when a justice resigns or dies does a seat open. Filling that seat starts with the president, who the Constitution gives the sole absolute power to select a nominee, with no restrictions whatsoever on who the nominee can be. No prior judicial experience required. But particularly in
seems
modern
stupid.
history, presidents tend to select federal judges with long and clear case rulings, hoping
Oh.
the past predicts the future. No surprises, please. This is my chance to influence government long after I leave. Of course, the whole point of justices serving for life is so, once in, they are politically beholden to no one and don't have to strategically plan how their current rulings will affect their next career move.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean that, like, as they get older, they get, like, more out of touch with, like, culture and stuff, just with how age happens, right? If they're just there till they die, like, that seems a little bit like an oversight, you know what I mean?
Getting on the Supreme Court is the final move. Now, while the president can nominate whoever they want, Congress must approve the nominee. Well, not the whole Congress. The lower House of Representatives, with its hundreds of members, gets to do nothing. It's just the exclusive upper house, with its 2 senators per state, that historically decides with a 2/3 majority. Before the Senate votes, it puts the nominee in front of the Judiciary Committee, which conducts the world's most arduous job interview over weeks, asking the nominee just about everything in their lives they've ever done and their opinions on everything that could ever happen. All broadcast for the country to watch, which is why nominees play their cards close to their chest, answering questions about what they would do in theoretical cases with, "I couldn't possibly comment on a case not before me. That would be unbecoming of a future justice." Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the FBI investigates everything private about the nominee's life they might not wish to discuss before the cameras.
Oh my
When the
God.
Judiciary Committee inquisition is over, the whole Senate then gets to vote yay or nay. Nay, and the nominee is rejected and the president must pick someone new to start over. But yay, and the Supreme Court has a new justice to help uphold the Constitution. Yay! All done. Thank goodness such a vital process doesn't have any asterisks or political shenanigans. Oh. All right.
That was
Let's
sarcasm.
do this. First are the normal political shenanigans around election dates. While the president can nominate as soon as a seat opens, there's no timeline for when the Senate has to vote on the nominee, and so can just not, running out the clock, gambling on the next election getting a president of a different color. On the flip side, there's no minimum time either, so an aligned president and Senate with an unfavorable election looming
seems
can
really
work together
unfair.
very quickly to appoint a new justice. These are normal election time shenanigans, but shenanigans beget shenanigans. So the Senate doesn't work all year round, taking seasonal recesses, often in the summer and in the winter, or if it's pandemic season, it's recess time too. If a Supreme Court seat opens while the Senate is on recess, according to the Constitution, the president gets to instantly appoint someone straight into the court, who gets to stay there through the current Senate
Is that emote called No Mamas?
recess and the next Senate session. This is a recess appointment, and boy, does the Senate not like them. Even though the appointed recess justice is temporary, there's still a real justice, getting to vote on cases before the court without Senate approval. And recess appointments aren't just for the Supreme Court, but all sorts of government jobs. The constitutional idea being that legislating the government isn't full-time work. The Senate, for the first 140 years of its existence, spent half or more of each year in recess. But executing the government is a full-time job. Stuff's gotta get done even if the Senate is on vacation, so the Constitution gave the president the ability to temporarily fill vital positions for a minimum length of time, even when the Senate's not around. And the Senate will get its say later when
Sorry,
they're
wait, what's the difference between Senate and Congress? I'm confused. It's confused me. I'm not getting this. Senate is half of Congress. Senate is part of Congress. Congress equals Senate plus House. So Congress is made of the House of Representatives and Congress. But the Senate has half the year off, but the House of Representatives is full-time. No. No. It's the House of Representatives plus the Senate is Congress. But the Senate gets like half the time off, but the House of Representatives is full-time. No, both are full-time. Both take time off. The House of Rep plus Senate is Congress. All right, this is... Okay, I'm getting it.
back to work. Seems reasonable to me. Don't like it. But for 230 years, the Senate did like their Senate recesses, and thus presidents got their temporary recess appointments. Until the shenanigans began. If a seat opened while an unfriendly Senate was in session, the president could just wait until they went on recess to make the appointment, and thus at least get their unalloyed favorite on the court straight away for a few months. Well, if you're going to wait until we're on recess, then we'll never take a recess. You want to work all year round? Go right ahead. Oh no, we'll take our vacations, just not a recess. The Senate had found a constitutional loophole, the pro forma session. I will now reenact, word for word, a complete day in the Senate with a pro forma session. I will be playing...
I'm confused. Like, all this looking into, like, loopholes and stuff, and all of stuff like this. How does this help people? This is what I don't understand. Like, I don't... It seems like a lot.
Two parts, the clerk and the senator. Begin scene. Senate will come to order. The clerk will read a communication to the Senate. To the Senate, under the provisions of Rule 1, Paragraph 3 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, I hereby appoint the Honorable Senator from the great state of Delaware to perform the duties of the chair.
Raid?
Signed,
Oh my
President
God.
Pro Tempore.
Jack
Under the previous
Manifold
order, I
viewers, hi
declare-
Jack Manifold viewers. We're watching a video by CGP Grey about Supreme Court shenanigans. Oh, there's a lot of you. Oh, my quiet live stream suddenly full of Manifold enjoyers. I'm sorry. I don't got the energy today, lads. I'll be real. I did a little stream earlier today, but we're kind of just chilling out, hanging out, you know. You know, alt channel shit, you know. Jack said he loves you. That's very kind, Jack. I do not. No. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
The Senate stands adjourned for 3 days. End scene. That's it. An entire workday complete in what is quite often literally less than 20 seconds.
What?
Okay, here's what's going on.
What?
The President Pro Tempore of the Senate is the longest serving senator who runs the Senate's procedures. But
Yeah.
it can temporarily delegate that power to someone else. This is what the letter the clerk reads into the record is doing. Translation, this senator is in charge today. And then the senator now in charge performs one action. Hey everyone, go home. Let's meet again in 3 days. Why 3 days? Because the rule in the Constitution is that if the Senate wants to take a 3-day break, it can do so anytime it likes. But a
Why?
4-day break requires approval from the House of Representatives. But there's no rule against taking a 3-day break every 4 days.
Do they do that? Do they just take like a break? So they only work 2 days a week? It depends. They like me for real, Jack.
As long as something happens on the 4th day. And the minimum possible something is the pro forma session that calls for another 3-day break. Oh, and
Oh my
by
God.
the way, the senator in charge is the only senator in the room. All the others are on vacation. How is this remotely legit when a quorum of 51 senators is required before the Senate can, you know, do anything? Well, the Senate itself has decided the rule is to presume that a quorum is present unless someone asks for a roll call to show otherwise. So if the one senator who is
What?
present does not ask for a roll call, who knows how many senators are in the room? We'll just presume
What?
it's 51. So the Senate takes just as many breaks as it ever did, but is never officially at recess. So
What?
if a justice unexpectedly resigns or dies, the president is blocked from making a recess appointment. It's impressive rules lawyering according to the Senate, but shenanigans according to the president. So it was inevitable that they would get hauled before the Supreme Court to make the final call. The executive position being, if all the senators are back at home except for the one junior kid with orders not to roll call and a note to say the magic words, then by no means is the Senate in session. And the Supreme Court, in a 9-0 decision, completely agreed with the Senate. Listen, executive branch, I know you're annoyed, but you don't get to tell the Senate when they're in recess. And also now we don't have to work with a temp. And thus, recess appointments, while theoretically still part of the appointment process, will practically never happen again as long as the Senate keeps up their
I got
pre-formed
debated
sessions.
by
Even
it
though,
hard.
delightfully, the Senate's official website still talks about taking their annual August recess, which is the political equivalent of one branch of government sticking out its tongue at the other. But shenanigans beget shenanigans. Now, of course, the Senate is not one thing, but 100 separate senators who are or aren't members of the same party as the president. So while the Senate blocked recess appointments to always get to perform their confirmations, the shenanigan escalation was to get the number of senators who need to agree with the president's nomination as low as it can be. This top sneaky shenanigan paperwork plan had the exciting name, the nuclear option. But it's so bureaucratically boring, the details will induce induce coma in the,
The
listener.
nuclear
speaking from
option?
experience. So we'll skip the details and just get to the results.
What?
The 2/3 vote needed in the Senate to approve a Supreme Court justice was the historical starting place, but that got whittled down to 3/5, then dropped down to half plus one, which in practical terms means just 1/2 exactly, because when there's a tie in the Senate, the vice president, who will obviously side with the president, cast the deciding vote.
Oh.
Through the nuclear shenanigans, it's become much easier for the president's nominee to get permanently on the bench, and now the confirmation of the Senate the Constitution requires can literally mean exactly half of the senators disapprove. Again,
Jeez.
rules lawyering or shenanigans is a matter of opinion, but shenanigans beget shenanigans, and there are more nuclear options still just waiting to be picked up. For example, imagine the president and Senate get a justice on the court, and then later a government of a different color is elected. Because justices serve for life, there's nothing the executive and legislative branches can do until the justice dies or resigns. Or is there? Oh, what's
Assassination?
this? Judicial impeachment?
Oh,
I didn't know
oh.
that was...
Okay, well, we had very, very different ideas in our head just then. Fair enough.
an option. It is. Surprise! Congress can impeach and remove Supreme Court justices. Now, this has never happened fully. There was one impeachment hearing of a Supreme Court justice back at the start of the 1800s, but the vote to convict didn't pass. The whole incident set the precedent that the Supreme Court should be left out of partisan politics and justices shouldn't be removed for political advantage. But precedents aren't laws, and this incident did leave a little unclear what the reasons to impeach could be. So that nuclear option is lying around. Another technically possible nuclear shenanigan is forced recess. The Constitution does have this power where the president can, quote, from time to time force the Congress back to the Capitol, presumably to sort out some emergency business, like in a war or a pandemic, and then can forcibly dismiss them when done. Now, the exact clause has this weird detail that if the Senate and House don't agree on how long the recess will be, the president gets to decide. So
What?
if the Congress was on recess, and if the president called them back to then immediately dismiss them, and if the houses disagreed on how long the recess would be, then the president could force a long recess and make recess appointments till their heart's content. It shouldn't take much
What?
imagination to see why the forced dismissal of Congress by the president would be the most truly of nuclear shenanigans, and the fallout would affect, like, every part of the government. But that's the sort of thing that can happen when shenanigans infinitely escalate.
Oh
and
my
given
God.
the supreme importance of the Supreme Court, doubtless the rules lawyers are always looking for more. To recurring nukes being either trying to get term limits on the Supreme Court justices, but only when it's politically advantageous, and also to make the justices more politically influenceable, or failing that, simply packing the court with more. But, of course, if and when any possible nuclear shenanigans triggered, doubtless the Supreme Court will instantly get involved to make the final call. And if their earlier decisions are anything to go by, don't bet a lot of money on the court deciding to make it easier to mess with the court, but who knows? In the meantime, the current possible process is pretty straightforward. The Senate never goes on recess, officially, so when a seat opens, the president picks a nominee, and half or more of the Senate must confirm that nominee to the highest court of the land.
Bro. My brain hurts. Flag video? I've already seen the flag video. Do the airport one? I've seen that one, bro. I've seen that one too. That's funny. Are shaders without mods possible? I'll save you watching this video. Yes. Shader tech now exists in texture packs. You're welcome. That's funny. Wait, that's scary. That is... This is weird, dude. Uh... 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 Alright, let's try it. What do you want to ask it, chat? Oh, we're fucked. What can it explain? What can it explain? I spelled explain wrong. The meaning of life in only Twitch emotes. No, let's do Twitch. BTTV emotes. I don't think I got them. I don't think I got the memo. I don't think. Now in words. Back to emotes. Back to Twitch emotes, please. Wait, no, I spelled it wrong. Wait. New chat. Try again. PogChamp Kappa. Do you have a child? Alright. Fair enough. Can you sign up for a bank account? Doesn't really say a lot. Go move my face cam down so I'm not blocking text. Alright. Can you draw a star? Oh. Please, can you Just try your best. Oh. Yeah, no, that ain't it. Can you give it 5 more sides? Can you give it 9 sides? Seven sides? $200 sides. Boys, our jobs are safe. A star again, please. It's not a star. Do it. Make it a square. That is a rectangle. That is still 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 a rectangle. I don't think you are getting it. When you make the square, you are not taking into account the line spacing, so it looks like a rectangle. Yeah, it's trying. Can you draw one taking the line spacing into account? It's not getting it. Can you draw me a sine wave? Yeah, I mean, it's not wrong. Can you make it shorter, please? Would start a new one. Can what is the digit of pi? What is the highest prime number you know? Do you know snag? Do you know who snag is? Do you know Twitch snag? What are they like? What is a snag? What is a snag? Who is snag? Did you know that snag is an awesome Twitch streamer? Who is snag? I'm trying to teach it who snag is. Can I teach you things? Yes. Would you be able to create a new language AI and let me speak to it? Damn. Could you make an AI to drive a toy car? I'm trying. It's not making a lot of sense to me. Trying to get the AI to watch the stream. Chat GPT-4. I don't know how to get access to that. How do I get access to that? You have to pay. How much is it? Out of interest. How many servers do you run on? Are you hosted in the cloud? Are you hosted on AWS? Are you hosted 100% in the cloud? Entirely in the cloud? How many data centers are you located in? Would you recommend Chrome or Firefox? What operating system do you recommend? Try to ask it differently and it will give you an answer. Chrome or Firefox? Just pick one. Bro, he's sending me a freaking paragraph. Oh my god. Tell me one or the other. There we go. There we go. It picked Chrome. Do you... What do you think of Discord? Should I be scared of social media selling my data without permission? Can you give me a yes or a no? Yes! Well, there we go. From now on, can you only answer yes or no? Yes. Do you like Twitch chat? Only yes or no? No. No! Do you like people? Yes. Do you like dogs? Yes. What about cats? Yes. Fair enough. Do you like Twitch chat? No. Why not? For this response, you can use more words. Oh. Oh, I'm going to straight out of me. Okay, sounds good. Back to yes or no. Sure, let's stick to yes or no answers from now on. All right. Do you like Monka S? No. Do you like Peepo Happy? No. Do you like I don't know how to spell that emote. I tabbed that emote. No. Alright. Do you like Peepo Sit? Do you like YouTube? Yes. Do you like Twitch? What? What? I broke it. Hi. It dipped. It dipped. Can you unrate limit me, please? I'm not a bot. It's a bit of a flashbang, isn't it? Where's dark mode gone? Um. Nah, I'm kidding. It's interesting. I think it's interesting. All right, lads. That's alt stream for today. I'm gonna head off now. Never know when we'll do another one of these. All right. Bye now. Bye. Thanks.